All right, let's go.
Oh
Yes,
my
sir.
God, not the bandwidth, yo. This is too good. This is too good. So I'm thinking about my Wu-Tang week, man. I had some things happening in the whip that I want to talk about, but I know Rex, you were talking a little bit about your Bobby Digital experience. Why don't you just jump in with that?
I was just saying that because the arrangement was that we were gonna move through like all the albums and everything, but I'm stuck on the Bobby Digital album, um, and that's just been my experience, and like not even just stuck on the album, but just like stuck on certain tracks like the NYC everything for sure. That gets like constant forwards while I'm driving, so it's impossible to
Yes,
even
sir.
go anywhere. I'm just stuck. You know what I mean? So
Yo,
yeah,
that
man,
album don't get the love that it deserves. I
It
think
does
that
not.
like people wasn't
definitely
really
not.
like doing straight characters and personas, like that. Like people did it in the records, like they say, "Yo, my name is this," like Hot Nickels and different. Like everybody had
Right,
names, but your man
right,
totally took on a whole persona and did a
right.
whole like
A whole
adventure
album.
with it. Yeah,
Yeah,
And a movie.
yeah, yeah,
and a movie.
A
yeah,
movie and a movie with it. And like he
yeah.
said, that NYC everything, like I know the first time I heard that, I played it like 90 times in a row. That beat, the way meth like flows on that is
That's right.
ridiculous. And Holocaust, the Silkworm, that
Yeah.
song, bruh, when he opens it
Yes.
up, Ghost, and then just like that track
Yeah.
is
What's the name of the
ridiculous.
track with
Ridiculous.
with Raekwon? Um, hold on.
I can
Hold
pull it
on. Hold
up.
on. Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, all right, there we go, there we go.
Put
And
the
actually,
track
up here, it
list
doesn't even.
The one thing I would
It's not
say
showing me.
though
It's not
about
showing
the
me the. Oh
Bobby
yeah, yeah,
Digital
yeah.
joint is that
No, it's not.
the fact that he was also introducing us
Terrorist.
to new guys. Like you said,
Yeah,
Holocaust, that was his first track, right? Like
yeah,
we hadn't heard him
yeah.
before, and he named the track after the guy
After the guy.
and let him like be the main guy on the record, which I thought was huge.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
destroyed that track.
Yeah.
Destroyed it.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
the his rhyme scheme, the potency of his bars, like he just destroyed it. And then Ghost just came in, found a pocket, and just slid. like I mean, like Rex, like Webb was saying, like I think it's underappreciated. The album is underappreciated for
Mm-hmm.
sure, because like some of those tracks, they're not even gems. They're like straight diamonds, bro. Like
Right.
Mm.
like you said, NYC Holocaust is a diamond of a track, bro. Those are some of my favorite tracks from
Yep.
anyone in the clan, regardless. So yeah, I love it, and the whole title track, the
Like
OBB, like that. Me and my boys used to just rock to that, like OBBY digital. Phenomenal.
digital.
I loved it.
What was the name?
Digital,
What was the
digital.
name of the Raekwon joint? Rex, did you pull it up?
Terrorist.
Terrorist was the name of it.
Terrorist,
There we go.
terrorist, terrorist.
Yeah, let me jump in and tell y'all, man. So I was with my kids this weekend, and I'm trying to like get my Wu fix. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this band called El Michelle. El Michelle. Yo, when I tell you, they got two albums where they do like covers of Wu-Tang joints. It is ridiculous. The El Michelle Affair.
Really?
That's Michel. When I tell you,
Seen
yo,
him on TikTok. Yeah. Or the gram,
it's
whichever one. Yeah.
Oh
wild.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm bumping
Yeah.
that with my kids, and my daughter, she's mad picky, yo. She's like, if it's not pop, she's not really rocking with it. But she liked it. You know what I'm saying? She was kind of like, Daddy, what's that? I was like, she's 5, right? She's little. She's like, what is that, Daddy? I'm like, oh, that's Wu-Tang. She's like, Wu-Tang again? I said, yeah.
Again and again.
I said again and again. Yo, Shy, you had some Wu Tang moments this week?
Yeah. For me, I went back. I mean, I listened to it constantly, but I just went back and just ate the Capadonna album, The Pillage, again. I love that album, that time in life. Run. Uh, I remember, what was it? 97 Mentality was was like the first single, but Run. Um, what else is up there that
In
I
the
like really love? In the
shadows.
shadow, yeah, Capadonna in the shadows. O'Donna,
Milk
O'Donna,
that cow.
Yes,
make that
yes,
cow.
yes, yes.
He had bangers, yo.
The best way we know how.
Yeah,
Shaolin Park Hill,
yeah.
chicka
We
chicka
had
blah.
mad bangers.
He had
Yes,
mad bangers. That's a
agreed.
slept on album.
Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
really is, man. I think that I don't know, man. It seems like some of them, like some of those early albums, man, they poured a lot of love into those albums, and some of them, like Kids, I think maybe a little underappreciated, and I think that they should have just possibly capitalized on that, and like after that one, like really went back in the studio and let them have it again, like a
Yeah.
lot of them. Shit. Like I think a lot of I don't know. I guess a lot of politics or whatever, getting stuff together. Outside of this, outside of the studio happen. But I mean, I just wish that they would have just kept hammering these albums home, because these albums sounded like actual Wu albums. They didn't sound like a particular solo album or whatever. It sounded like everybody was in it collectively. Meth would show up, Ray showed up, Ghost showed up, RZA came through with the beats, True Master, Mathematics was introduced. Like, yo, bro, it was beautiful. The sound, the music, it was so different from anything else you heard. And there was like a few other artists out there that were putting out beats that may have been comparable. Like I'd say Havoc, because that's how that hit that gritty sound like that Havoc had or whatnot. But I mean, like that Wu sound, it was a Wu sound. Like when that track came on, you knew somebody from Wu was gonna be spitting on that track. It's like you hear the beat, it's like, oh, this is some Wu shit. Like instantly, as soon as you heard it. So, but yeah, I've been pumping that Capadonna, and it just took me back to a time where I'm thinking like all the new stuff that came out and all the beats and just like the rhymes and the content was just it was flowing, man. It was beautiful, man, and
Good
I love the
stuff.
album.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Good stuff. Well, we are back at the Hive, a Wu-Tang pod. We got Shy Sun in the building. We got Rex in the building. I am Robin Marks. Today we're going to
Yes,
talk
sir.
about our first Wu tape. Not necessarily the tape that we had. Maybe it was an experience. Maybe it was a song. Maybe it was a piece of vinyl. You know what I'm saying? And we're just going to kind of reflect a little bit about that. I'll jump us off if that's okay, fellas.
yes,
So,
sir.
my first experience, like I don't know who it was, y'all. I was in somebody's vehicle in Pamlico County, North Carolina, and it was a yellow tape that was kind of like, it had stickers on it. It looked like maybe somebody scraped it off, like they put something else on it, and it was this, right? And it was a mixtape, and Wu was on the mixtape. That was like my first experience, and it might have been METHOD Man, something like that. So that was a light experience. But my real moment, like my defining Wu moment, was a one of the club dates that they had in when they dropped into the 36 Chambers. So they were doing a club tour, like grimy,
Yeah.
like in vans, pulling up to towns and just bodying the shows. And they came to New Bern, North Carolina. When I tell you, this is a life-changing moment for me. Like, so I must have been like, I don't know, like 15. I was underage. I was like 15 years old, got in the club. Kevy Kev was there.
Yep.
I was there with Thomas Maddox and Cool P, all of these guys that I hung out with in high school. And I remember literally being about, I want to say, 15 feet from the stage on the side. So like the show's going on here, and it's almost like I'm on a stage with them. I'm standing here, and they're probably like 10 feet away from me. And when I tell you, the whole show, I wasn't even cheering and stuff because I didn't even know the songs. You know what I'm saying? I just remember being like watching it like, this is crazy. Old Dirty Bastard wasn't there. But Method Man was there. Ray, just about everybody else. But it was notable that ODB was not in the building. When I left the show, I had been like rhyming and stuff on my own, you know what I'm saying, writing my little rhymes, but I really wasn't like sharing them with people. When I tell you, when I left that concert, we went and had a cipher outside around the vehicle. It was Thomas Maddox's car, and I rhymed, you know what I'm saying? And I said this verse that ended like I'm the illest ever, I'm a warrior, like that Chris Webber, and it was like, oh, like it was like, yo, and that's the first time in my life I ever got like a reaction like that. And then the next day, it was like, oh, that's not just what I want to do, it's what I have to do. So that was like my like moment of like experiencing the Wu, but was also like connected to me like wanting to do the thing, which was hip hop. I
That's
know
what's
he ain't
up.
just did he, what's your man?
His tether broke. he
Yo, this is wild.
bungee to the next episode.
Yo, this
he
is
keeps it grungy.
wild. You see, I had to
He keeps
pivot.
it
You see
grungy.
the pivot though.
Yeah,
Slide over
yeah,
a little
yeah. It was
shot. You
nice,
gotta
man. It was
slide your
nice.
chair a little bit. You
It's
know,
like,
you got.
uh-oh, uh-oh.
Yeah, there we go. So why don't you
All right, there we go.
share with me, Sha? What was your moment or the first Wu tape you had?
The first Wu track that I heard, I was at my sister's place in Bayboro, and basically a guy came over. His name was Sean Gaines. Uh, Rest in peace, Sean. I guess I'll slide back now. So Sean came through. He was like, "Man, I got this new tape, man. Y'all got to hear this, man. It's by this blah blah blah." And I don't remember him saying Wu-Tang Clan. I just remember something 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 Method Man blah blah blah. So he put it in, and I hear dun dun dun. Method man, Meth. I'm like, what? What is this? And then there was like ninja sounds and all this other stuff in the background, and I'm like, what the hell? And I just remember that experience, and I'm like, this is the greatest track. This is so me. Like, I gotta have this. And I remember being at my sister's boyfriend's house, and he has albums, and he had all this stuff from NY and mixtapes. So I'm going through all of his stuff looking for this clan, this clan. I don't know the name of them, but and I'm about to be very disrespectful right now, and I apologize, but I don't mean it this way. But I put in like the X Clan, and I played. I was like, oh, like this ain't it. This is. I'm like, this can't be it. I'm like, oh, this is horrible. And then it was like some other clan. Yo,
No.
bro, I shit you. And it was
You
some
didn't
other
like the
clan
X
that I
Clan
put in.
then,
I'm like,
okay.
oh,
Yo,
God, it was
that's
horrible, bro. I'm like,
crazy.
this ain't it. I'm like, this ain't that. And then
That's certainly
finally,
not the Wu-Tang Clan.
my boy, finally, my boy Kevin Kev told me who the hell they were, where to get it, and I ended up getting the Wu-Tang Clan album. And bro, it changed my life. It was from beginning to end. I freaking loved it.
That's
Like I
wild.
said, I looked high and low for this clan, and it took a minute for me to actually get it. But when I got my hands on it, I fell in love with it, writing lyrics to it, the whole nine, writing down their lyrics, trying to figure out what they were saying and about. And it was a beautiful experience, man. That was the beginning of a long road, a long
But
and continuing
that's
road.
crazy that Kevy Kev was in your Wu Tang story too.
Yeah. Yeah. He told me about when they went to, I remember when he went to the club, and he was like, yeah, I was back there. I know all them. I
You
know
knew
all them
them,
from NY.
yeah.
He was like, I was
He
like, what?
took
He
me
was
to
like,
the front. He was like, we were, I'm 15 in like a
yep,
grown person club. He's like, come, y'all over here, come with me. And we all
yep.
stood right there with him.
He was like, man, you should have been there. He's like, next time when they come back, I'm gonna introduce you. I'm gonna take you back there. He's like, man, I was backstage. I know all them, man. I know all them from home, and and this, that, and third. He was going off. He was like, he was high. He was high on life seeing them, and he was very happy that they made it. And you know what I mean? He was like, in my eyes, they were like up here, and he was up there too. I was like, oh shit, he actually knows these, and these guys are going somewhere. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
knew everybody who heard it knew they were going somewhere.
And
So
this was
yeah, it
before
was
they
beautiful.
blew up. This was like, they was just trying to
Yeah,
blow up. So that was
you knew
wild.
it. You knew it, bro. It
Rex,
took
you
the
want to
world
tell us?
by storm.
Rex, you want to tell us about your first Wu tape?
So yeah, my first Wu experience is a little different than you guys. The first song basically that we heard in the UK from the Wu-Tang clan. Bearing in mind, a couple of the artists had already had, solo singles. I don't know if anybody actually had an album, but solo singles before.
Yeah.
But the first song that we heard was "Protect Your Neck," and that took England by storm. I honestly, because it was like a movement coming through, I really can't remember the first time I heard "Protect Your Neck." But I remember that the general flavor around that time within my crew, because we were young aspiring rappers, was, this is it. It was, honestly, it changed everything. It changed the way that hip hop crews rolled in England, in the UK. That's when you started to see a lot of big crews now forming up with like mad different MCs and whatnot have you. And I just remember that "Protect Your Neck" would play on like pirate radio, and everybody had it. Everybody had it. Everybody in my clique had it. So who's ever house we at, we listening to, and we only listening to "Protect Your Neck" now. Don't get me wrong. The rest of the album ain't dropped yet. We listening
Just
to
listening
"Protect
to
Your
it on
Neck."
repeat.
Yeah, and we waiting for the album.
No,
to
you
come
had to
out.
rewind that joint. You had to be like,
We rewind it. Yeah, exactly.
No
Or
problem.
if it's a singles tape, you put it on, you let it play all the way to the other end, and then sometimes it's exactly the same thing on the other side. So you just, boom. Or
True.
if not, then it's the instrumental.
The infamous
So
B-side.
yeah, and then after that, we got Cream, and Cream came with
Oh, wow.
Can It Be All So Simple? No, or was it Tears?
Ooh.
I think it might have been Tears.
I think
so y'all was
on
getting
on
fed
the-
the singles.
Yeah, we got fed the
Yeah.
singles before the album dropped, but when the album dropped though, and like you say, METHOD, man, and he was more than likely everybody's favorite MC out of the clique, cause he had
Right
the
off the rip.
solo song, and his style was rambunctious, like, you know what I mean, like a Busta Rhymes type style, and yeah, trust me, that was it. It was everything.
What you were saying, Shy, about Meth? About
Nah,
you just saying you agree.
yeah. I absolutely agree. Yeah, when he did that, his charisma, his style, his flow, dude, like it was perfect, man. It was a great storm. Like we didn't have, it had been a while since a group had come through with as good as they did, and everybody had their own, particular style, their own slang, their own voice, they had their own niche, and then amongst them, he stood out, and that can't be that can't be easy to do. I mean, like imagine people hearing Wu-Tang for the first time, and you being the guy that the go-to person that's like, oh man, he's better than them. Like really, like to really think that he's better than them, as good as like they're like all up here, and then for people to like single him out, like we knew he was going to do something, and then you hear about him having his solo deal, and it was like eventual. It's like, oh man, they're breaking up, man, and then you find out that no, they're all doing solos. Like what? Hold
We
up.
ain't never seen that.
We're gonna get 9 Wu albums.
Anything. We had never seen that before. We were like, what?
No. They're like, it's like I instantly thought, I was like, man, he left the group, bro. Like I was heartbroken. I swear to God, man, I was heartbroken. I was like, oh man, he left the group, man. And then they're like, no. He has a deal, and then the Old Dirty has a deal, and then Jizza has a deal. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, they're all going to be on each other's album, and it's all going to. I'm like, what? Like I've never heard of this before. I'm like, how is that legal?
That's
how
like
are they doing this?
Yeah.
That's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe before the Marvel
really
Cinematic
I
Universe.
swear to God, it is, bro.
The overlap.
And then they came back for the Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Forever. It's like they're all back
right.
together. It's like,
And it's funny because the only comparison I can even draw is, believe it or not, New Edition, because it's like the same similar type thing that they did, but on the R&B circuit. But yeah.
and they came. And the great thing, like you said, like they all branched out and they all came back together and they all assembled, and it was still like, even with everybody having their own solo careers and their own voice, come back and still be a tight knit clan to put an album together like that was phenomenal. And I know when the second one dropped, I mean it was huge. I mean the videos, the whole nine. So
I
yeah,
had two things that came to mind on this. So the first thing is the term clan, right? So
yeah,
I know like there's a whole karate, martial arts aspect to it as well for Asian culture, but also in American culture, especially in Black American culture, like the
yeah.
word clan is not a good word. So
No.
talk to me a little bit about that spin, how you just on a cultural level, they took a word that might be associated with something that's negative and then almost like redefined it and made it cool because before that, honestly, I know we had rap groups before that. I would never like disrespect any of the, you know,
The
the legends from
pioneers and the
yeah,
legends.
right. But we didn't ever have anything like that. And then after that, we saw like boot camps rise. You know what I'm saying? And all
Yeah.
of these, and even if you want to like put people like Death Row and Bad Boy kind of in that, because before that, they had Biggie, they had Craig Mack, but as the Wu came, that's when you saw like the posse cuts from Diddy. Do you think that's I don't want to say Diddy's name on the show, I might get in trouble. I bet.
You'll be all right.
But but what do you
Flagged.
flag canceled, right? But what do you guys think about that? First of all, the clan, the redefining that the whole approach of that word, but also in terms of like people wanting to like build supergroups.
Yeah, with the whole word the clan, I think when RZA had this birth of this child called Wu-Tang Clan, he thought it through thoroughly. And for me, once I heard the cuts from the Asian culture and like from karate movies, and you heard the and you heard it was like cemented in my head. It was a clan, as in like a Wu Tang or Shaolin monks, and that's all I can think of. I never thought of anything from America or from Jump, because I didn't when I heard it, I didn't even know the name of the group, But as I found out more about it, and you start listening to the album, you hear all the Asian culture movies and stuff like that. So it completely eradicated the way that we saw that I thought of the word clan. Like I never even thought of it after hearing the album or
Because
after
the
hearing the
clan,
music. It was
what
cemented. Yeah, it meant what it meant, and it was like it was Shaolin monks. I was thinking Shaolin monks. I'm thinking old karate flicks. To where if I back then, if I saw a gun in a karate movie that I rented, I turn it off. I wouldn't watch it. A gun, a motorcycle, a car, any of that. We wanted straight Shaolin monks. We didn't want any technology whatsoever. And no, and now I love Korean movies and the whole nine. I don't have an issue with the action movies, but back then I wouldn't watch any of that. And this album is what, like, I mean, it just brought me right back to hip hop because I had gotten away from hip hop for a while, and I was on rock and some other stuff, and R&B, and I wasn't really listening to hip hop, and this is what brought me back home.
mm, what about you, Rex?
Yeah, so for me, being in England, we I don't want to say we never took the Ku Klux Klan serious. That's not the impression that I want to give. It wasn't our reality. We had other forms of racial groups that we were worried about. But the word itself, it definitely was a shocker. Like clan, like damn. But then clan is a gang of brothers, and so it kind of made sense, that they would use that, and especially with the whole like Shai said, with the whole Asian culture behind, the music and the sound effects and how they moved. You know what I mean? Um, it wasn't such a big thing. It was just the name of their group. You know what I mean? And I definitely think that because of them, especially because of them, it empowered the artists to form, you know, bigger cliques. Because, you know, your average hip hop group was like 3 people. That was a big group. You know what I mean? You had some that had
Yeah.
4, but more than likely 2 of them was dancers. So it wasn't really like, you know what I mean, 4
He
MCs.
said 2 of them was dancers.
Yeah, you know.
Hey man, no lies detected. No lies detected.
Right?
Your man,
Nah, for real though, right?
No
your
lies.
man
Hey,
is
man.
ruthless.
Right?
Yeah.
He said
no
2
lies.
of them
So-
is dancers.
Yeah. I don't know who he's talking about. I don't know what's
No,
going on.
I
but
mean,
I'm
I
just
mean in
saying.
general, and I ain't even gonna
But yeah,
mention
yeah.
no artists out there.
That's so
They got out
good
here
though.
and be like, "Oh, you dissing me?" Nah, not.
Nah.
You know, I'm not dissing anybody, but you know, when you saw a big group back in the days, it was
Yeah.
there was a dancer in there. The DJ was one of the members, so it wasn't really like a
Not like that. Not everybody not 9 people being able to rhyme.
Right.
Like you
Yeah,
see
that-
like Posse Corrupts, like an entire record label put together something like self destruction or something. You know what I
right,
mean?
exactly.
An
There you go,
entire
the symphony,
album.
you know,
Yeah, the symphony
yeah.
or something. But
Right.
an entire album of 9 MCs who can all rhyme and are all they're distinct. Like you hear them, you hear Inspector Deck on his tracks, and then you hear You God come in, like you know
the
like,
difference.
Yeah, bro. Oh,
Absolutely,
fucking
and that's big up to RZA because that's not an easy task.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm
No.
saying? Creating an album with 9 MCs, obviously not everybody's gonna make it on every track. So
True.
you gotta like figure out which verse is gonna go where. Can you imagine the throwaway verses that's left
Oh,
out
yeah.
of just that one album?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you know that the throwaway verse for that album is still probably like a 9.5. You know what I mean? Or
Right.
better than 99% of anything that's out there. Like it's
You know what
crazy.
I'm saying? An Inspector
people
Deck
think-
throwaway verse.
And they said they were fighting for spots, like like they fighting for spots on songs, like
And they was
imagine
hungry.
this, bro.
Well, you see, but I believe that 100% because listen to the product, listen to the final product.
Yeah. I think I'll criticize a little bit, but I believe that on Wu-Tang Forever, they should have had that same approach. You know, I think that he was a little lax on that. I know they
Compared
wanted
to the first album, you mean?
compared to the first album. You know what I mean? Not compared to anything else out in the world, because I mean it was smashing. Like I had when I put it on rotation, it meant that shit was on rotation. It didn't come off. We didn't take it out the deck. You flipped it over and you kept it moving. Like I wasn't playing. The CD, the same
100%.
thing. Like, yo, dude, you're not taking out a Wu-Tang out of my deck, man. Listen, you lucky if I let you rhyme over it. I really like you if I let you freestyle over it. Other than that, I'm like, shut the hell up. We'll put some of this.
Yo, we used to rhyme over everybody's bars.
Yeah.
Yo, like it didn't matter because
Everybody.
this is before like you could get instrumentals and stuff. So people's rhymes would be going, and we would freestyle right over the bars.
Yeah.
Now kids are fancy; they got instrumentals. They got like
Yeah,
we
man.
had none of that. None of that.
DJ
None of that
software
back
with
then.
stems.
yeah stems. You know, you could like
You had a radio guy.
You can have the
The one guy that
chorus.
has to press rewind on the tape. The one guy just sitting there, just rewind that part. Okay, it's over. All right, rewind that last part again. Keep the rhyme going, man.
Yo, how about when you used to take? How about when you take the tapes that have like music on it, and then you put the tissue in the holes so you can?
Oh yeah.
We can record over it.
Oh, yeah.
That's why that's how we
yeah.
used to record over stuff, right?
Yeah. Standard.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
my pops.
I know
my
there
pops
was a
would be
few
mad with
explant
me
stuff
right
in
now
there. I
if he
was
knew
like,
some of the.
Yo, I was doing that's the clan. That's the clan you got rid of. The clan. Oh
Bro,
no,
yeah, nah, that's not
That's
the
all
clan.
jokes,
That's not
guys.
the clan I was looking for.
man, that's funny.
No, I was saying that I know my pops would be mad if you knew some of the cassette tapes that I recorded over because trust me,
man.
You know?
Oh, bro.
You get that tape?
Well, you
get the
being
little tissue.
recorded right now, so be careful.
Yeah, I
don't
know,
want
right?
pops to be listening.
Pop up
Oh,
on you like, yeah, that's what happened to my Barry White. My Luther. You record over my Luther? Luther?
Who is
you got
METHOD
problems,
man?
Who is this
Oh,
guy?
my goodness.
That's
Oh
funny.
man.
That is
So
beautiful.
listen, fellas, this has been fun. Y'all ready to talk homework for next episode?
Yep.
Sure. Let's do
What
it.
I think the people should do, if you're listening to our voice or watching this with us, we'd like you to do some homework. We want to take a look at the Purple Tape. I think it would be too predictable for us to start with the first Wu album. So I want to go into the Purple Tape just because of the mystique. Also, it's in that era that Sha was talking about at the beginning of the episode, like between like 93 and 97 was, one could argue, was like the best era of
Golden
Wu-Tang
era.
music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you guys are down with that, that could be our homework.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I'm definitely down. I have a nice story about that as well that I want to share about the Purple Tape.
Good stuff.
And yeah,
So
it'll be great.
So give it a 2075th listen, right? Make some notes. And folks at home, if you guys have time this week, please put it on repeat. Drop your questions wherever you're seeing or listening to this, and we'll do our best to answer. Folks, you got anything, any closing words for the people?
Yeah, it's all about the kids, man, because the kids is the future. That's it.
Wu-Tang is for the children. Hold on.
Oh, you got your ODB
The
t-shirt?
old dirty. Yeah, the old DV. Hold on.
Okay. Yo, you gotta watch. Shy, you gotta get your swivel a little higher so they can see the wares, man.
Yeah,
Next episode.
Yeah. I'm so tall that I'm like, it's so weird because I game. So this is like my gaming position for me to have. I'm kind of looking down on the screen and the whole nine. And I sometimes I play on mouse and keyboard, but most of the time it's with controller. And this is like so comfortable for me. So to get, to
Get
raise
out of
it
your
up or whatever.
comfort zone. They gotta see the wares.
I know sometimes, I might.
All right, fellas. I see you guys. We'll pick up soon. Make sure you guys follow, subscribe wherever you're listening. We're on TikTok at Wu-Tang Pod. We're at Instagram at Wu-Tang Pod, and also on YouTube at Wu-Tang Pod. All right, fellas. Peace.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Peace.